Obama really paved the way for Trump's presidency. Americans were rightfully furious with the government and they wanted actual change. So you have this guy coming down a golden elevator, calling out all of that corruption. Obviously, he's corrupt himself. We all know that. He comes out, he calls it all out. He seems to be authentic. He seems to be sincere. And he changes the paradigm for the GOP. And that was because of Obama and the Democratic Party paving the way, creating a perfect environment for someone like Trump to thrive.
We've heard a lot of talk about change this year. The question is, change to what? To me, change is a government that doesn't let banks and oil companies rip off the American people. Change is when we finally fix healthcare instead of just talking about it. Change is giving tax breaks to middle-class families instead of companies that send jobs overseas. Change is a president who brings people together. I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message because this year, change has to be more than a slogan.
Does it?
Yeah, I can.
That was Obama's campaign ad back in 2008. And we're bringing it back up today because former President Barack Obama has some advice for modern day Democrats, the Democratic Party. And he was at a fundraising event for the DNC where he did share some very blunt advice. Now it's vague and doesn't really offer anything specific, but I'll let you judge for yourselves. I'll read a little bit of what was reported in regard to Obama's comments. So he says, quote, "I think it's going to require a little bit less navel gazing and a little less whining and being in fetal positions." He's talking about the Democratic Party and how they've been behaving. "And it's going to require Democrats to just toughen up. Don't tell me you're a Democrat, but you're kind of disappointed right now, so you're not doing anything. No, now is exactly the time that you get in there and do something."
I gotta pause right there.
No, one more, and then you can go off, okay? "Don't say that you care deeply about free speech and then you're quiet. No, you stand up for free speech when it's hard. When somebody says something you don't like, but you still say, you know what, that person has the right to speak. What's needed now is courage."
Just please go away, okay? Just look, I'm so, at this point, I can't stand Obama anymore. So go back to the ad first, okay? He said that old ad of, oh yeah, you gotta watch out for the bankers and the oil companies. Do you wanna know how full of crap Barack Obama is? So the bankers were his #1 donor in 2008. And you know what he did? Not only did he do a bailout of all the bankers, he let them keep their bonuses after they cost this country 12 million jobs. Keep their bonuses, they crashed the economy. They're miserable failures. Why are they getting bonuses from the American taxpayers? Why? Because Obama's corrupt. And Obama took money from the bankers, so he took your hard-earned money and gave it to the bankers. Oil companies, they get $17 billion a year in subsidies, year after year. For 8 straight years, they got all those subsidies under Obama. What did you do, Obama? What did you do about the oil companies? You just kept giving it to them. In fact, my first major criticism of Obama was that he let the oil companies drill in the Gulf. And then there was a massive oil spill in the Gulf.
There sure
Why? Because he's a sellout. Because he works for the donor class. Now go to these comments. Why am I upset about this? First of all, what's this gobbledygook? Have the courage to say it. Say what? I'm not gonna say it. I just, whatever you think is the right thing is the thing that I appear to be doing because I'm a really good politician, but I never say anything. What do you want us to do, Barack? You were president for 8 years, you were enormously popular. Say it. Oh, you want to talk about courage? You don't have the courage to do anything. So you don't even have the courage to tell us what to do. Do you have a plan? Do you have an idea? No, I will speak in generalities and tell you not to navel gaze and say these general gobbledygook words. And by the way, who's he giving this speech to?
To donors who are
to
probably
donors, his best friends. And he goes, and when he says you got to do something, this is not the time to sit on the sidelines, etc. You know what he's saying? He's telling the donors, give me more money.
He's telling the donors who are probably feeling uneasy about the fact that Democrats are deeply unpopular. Their base has turned on them to some extent. They have a super low approval rating. And so if you're a donor, are you gonna feel comfortable providing more money to a party that's deeply unpopular and not favored by a lot of voters? Probably not. So you have Obama come in and do this pretend tough talk for the Democratic Party to kind of give this illusion that no, we're whipping these Democrats back to shape. But honestly, even during the Obama administration, as Cenk is alluding to, the Democratic Party abandoned their promises. And it was after the 2008 economic collapse in which so many Americans across the country were getting foreclosed on, as the very financial institutions and banks that put out those predatory loans or gave out those predatory loans got rewarded with a bailout.
Yeah.
This was under Obama, okay? So Obama really paved the way for Trump's presidency. Americans were rightfully furious with the government and they wanted actual change. So you have this guy coming down a golden elevator, calling out all of that corruption. Obviously, he's corrupt himself. We all know that. But he comes out, he calls it all out. He seems to be authentic. He seems to be sincere. And he changes the paradigm for the GOP. And that was because of Obama and the Democratic Party paving the way, creating a perfect environment for someone like Trump to thrive.
Yeah, I gotta say more. First of all, the quote I'm talking about is he says, so you're kind of disappointed right now, so you're not doing anything. No, now is exactly the time you get in there and do something.
Do what?
No, the reason, what he means, it's obvious because he's talking to donors, is do something means give me money, give me money, give me money. That's the something that he wants them to do. And he's not keeping it for himself, I wanna be clear. He's raising money for other corporate Democrats. So then I was curious, like, hey, what's he gonna do with this? He's like, oh, you need to help Spangenberger or whatever the hell her name is.
Spanberger.
Yeah, Spamberger. Okay,
Spankenberger.
Spankingberger, whatever the hell she's like a CIA agent, right? She's like the most corporate establishment Democrat, exactly the kind of loser Democrat that got us into this mess in the first place. And he's like, give more to the loser Democrats, my side. And now when you say, hey, wait a minute, Obama won twice. Yeah, I know. So he came in, he ran a great campaign against Hillary and McCain. So he comes in, then he just all of a sudden does nothing for 4 years, right? To be fair, he did Obamacare, which by the way, yes, was a right-wing plan from the Heritage Foundation to just do a little pressure release, right? But don't fix it, don't even do a public option, okay? And mandate that they buy from us private insurance, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So then I thought, well, maybe he won't win the second time around. But when the campaign came around, back came Obama the lion. He was shredding Mitt Romney, right? Whenever it's about Obama, he's the greatest warrior I've ever seen. Whenever it's about you, he's like, I couldn't find my walking boots. Like, I couldn't do it. Oh, why don't you do something? Why don't you stop navel gazing? Do you know how many seats, I said loser. Do you know how many seats we lost under Obama, the Democratic Party? 1,000 seats nationwide. And did Obama care? Did Rahm Emanuel care? Did any of those corporate Democrats care? No, because they were fine. Their own careers were fine. The Democratic Party burned. They're like, yeah, but did the donor check clear? Donors. So, and Obama's like Israel. When you criticize Israel, everybody goes anti-Semite. So you're not allowed to criticize Israel. Obama, you criticize him, they're like, he was the first black president, racist. Now I don't give a goddamn what you say.
I know.
Obama was a donor servant, that's it.
Yeah, yes, definitely. We are all very disappointed in Obama. And to your point, Cenk, about how he's trying to get the donors to donate more. I think this next quote kind of solidifies that fact. So he told attendees at this fundraiser, which by the way included New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Representative Mikey Sherrill, and DNC Chair Ken Martin, to stop worrying about finding a leader for the party and focus on the midterms. He says, stop looking for the quick fix. Stop looking for the Messiah. You have great candidates running races right now. Please give us money. Please give us money.
Do we?
Yeah, support these candidates or those candidates, Obama said, calling out the New Jersey and Virginia elections, according to excerpts of his remarks. And he described Sherrill and former Virginia Representative Abigail Spanberger, who again, Cenk was referring to earlier, who's been running for governor in her state as powerful spokespersons for a pragmatic, common sense desire to help people and who both have remarkable track records of service.
No, they don't.
Yeah, okay, but
Spankberger's done nothing.
Notice the lack of specificity here. And by the way, I just want to quickly end on the polling, because Obama's sentiment at this event echoes some of these polling results, showing that people find the Democratic Party out of touch, woke, weak. But Obama was kind of part of that. He
Not
paved
kind
the
of
way
part
for
of
that.
it. Obama is a critical part of the weakness. Never fights back against Republicans, never fights back against the donor class. And then he had the audacity to run on hope and change. He delivered almost no change and extinguished hope. But hey, he collected a lot of checks. And now he lives in his castle in Nantucket or wherever the hell he is, or Martha's Vineyard or some fancy ass place. And the only thing he goes to is to lecture young black men over, you should vote for us, the corporate Democrats. It's your fault, black people. I'm lecturing you, I'm the first black president. Okay, no, I'm not interested in that. Go collect some more goddamn checks. And the only other place you ever see him is at a fundraiser. Wow, you're helping so much. You're so in the fight, President Obama.
Yeah.
Okay, he's part of the people that ruined the Democratic Party. Corporate to the tilt. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.